What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at a new movie review, and today we're taking a look at Matrix Resurrections. I didn't go see this in cinema, I'm gonna be honest. I watched this on Netflix, and it is a pretty decent show. I watched it this morning, and it's not a show, it's a pretty decent movie. I watched it this morning, and I haven't seen any of the Matrix. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen any of the others. I've seen a couple of scenes when my granddad's been watching it, but that is just me walking to and from the stairs to the kitchen, maybe to the toilet and then back again. Literally just passing by, seeing a couple of scenes, maybe asking me a couple of questions just to get a little bit of conversation going whilst I'm in the kitchen. But I haven't seen any of the others, but I have watched John Wick 4 recently, so I thought I might as well watch this new Matrix as well, because I absolutely love Keanu Reeves, and he is going to be Shadow in the new Sonic movie, so let's show Keanu some support and take a look at this Matrix movie. I feel like I watched this and understood it pretty well, and I didn't need to watch the previous ones to understand it. So, we have The Matrix Resurrections. Thomas Anderson, seemingly an ordinary life, ends when he accepts Morpheus's offer, only to wake up to a new, more secure, and much more dangerous Matrix. So, how this actually opens up is with Bugs and her hacker friend running through the Matrix, running through a simulation, and it going slightly wrong, doing stuff that's not supposed to happen. So, they end up getting out of it, and then it cuts to Keanu Reeves, who's currently game developing, and he is living a normal life. He's talking to his sort of therapist, and just trying to live a normal life. A couple of things keep repeating in his head, but he tries to take no notice of it, and he feels like the game he's making is his real life. He feels like the game he's making based on the Matrix, which is what he's already been through, is real life, but his memories have been altered. So going into this, the Bugs and the others are trying to help him and get him out, and when they do successfully get him out, like a good hour or two into the movie, they have to retrain him, reteach him all the stuff that he learned in the originals, and once he does a little bit of training, he remembers it all, he gets back into it, and they saved him from the Sentinel captive site, where they have them in cryopods, basically draining their power and draining their life force. However, we do have this guy trapped, and they get out, and he's like, hey, we need to go back for Trinity, because Trinity is also in there. So they train Keanu up, they go back, and they try and rescue Trinity, and they're like, we can only rescue her if she wants to come. And she ends up not wanting to come, and then changing her mind. And then they have a final fight with Keanu's therapist. And when they beat the therapist, they fly out of there, and they fly off into the sunset. Him and Trinity go off to the sunset, and that's where it ends, and I think that's a really shit ending, just them two flying off into the sunset, because it does leave it open for another one, but I don't think it needs another one. I think this one's a solid ending, and they should leave it right here, and we should stop making more Matrix movies. Right, so, CGI-wise, that is like a huge thing about the Matrix. The CGI is a massive thing. It was pretty good. The CGI was pretty good. The Sentinels look decent. The ships look decent. The backgrounds look decent. And I felt like it was all real, so that's pretty cool. My favorite character was Bugs. I thought Bugs was quite cool. And I do believe she is a new character for this movie. And there she is in the background there with the blue hair, and I have made LEGO customs on Neo and Bugs, so you can go check them out. They should be already on the channel as of the time of me uploading this video, so you can go find those, go check them out, and I'm going to be honest, the story was pretty boring. I'm not sure if that's because I haven't seen the rest of them, and I'm not too invested into the characters, but I just felt like it was quite boring and lackluster with him having to train, and I assume it would be even more boring and lackluster if I did watch the originals, because it's just him training again to become this Neo, this Matrix master that he is, to dodge all these bullets. And I'm gonna be honest, Keanu is a really good actor, so the acting here is also really good, and I just feel like it was, I don't know, it's just an unnecessary movie, because I felt like, why? This entire movie, I was just like, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we here? And they were just trying to save Keanu and Trinity, and I don't know if the other one ended with them getting captured, so I don't know if they really needed to make this one. or if they were just making another one for the sake of it. Because if it didn't end with them getting captured, how did they get captured? How were they trapped in here? Because it said that it went back into him already capturing them. Like it had him and Trinity already captured. That was one of the flashbacks. There was no real explanation of how they got captured, or like when they were captured, or there was why they got captured, but there was no like how or when. They just were. And I feel like that is pretty bad storytelling with just how basic it is, with no one really explaining how or why. And there isn't a lot to say about this movie. It just feels quite basic. And I'm pretty sure I'm unbiased because I haven't seen the rest of them and I haven't put time and effort into the rest of them. The action sequences were cool. I liked the fights. I thought they were really cool and outgoing and very visually interesting, visually appealing. But the plot and the story was pretty slow, pretty basic, and wasn't too interesting. It was just slow and uninteresting. I'm sorry. For those of you that like The Matrix, I'm sure you'd have loved this one. But I am not a huge Matrix enjoyer. I've only seen this one. And I know a lot of you are going to be like in the comments, well, if you haven't seen the rest of them, you don't have a right to talk about this one. Watch the others and then talk about this one. No, I went into this one as a first-time viewer. I went into this one expecting something grand. My granddad liked The Matrix, so I was like, you know what? If granddad likes it, it's probably good. And I was wrong. I was wrong. It was mediocre at best. It was pretty basic and pretty mediocre. So I am gonna go with a solid 6 out of 10. It's a 6 out of 10. Am I glad that I watched it? Yeah, I think that is okay. Am I gonna watch it again? Probably not. Probably never. I'm only watching it because I thought it would be good and because I'm a fan of Keanu. So I thought this would be good as well. Keanu has had a recent uprising with him coming back for Bill and Ted, with him coming back for Matrix, with him coming back for John Wick. He's back doing all the old stuff that he used to do, and I don't think that was a smart decision because I've watched the new Bill and Ted, I've watched the new Matrix, and I've watched the new John Wick, and none of them have been that spectacular. None of them have been as good as the originals, so I'm a little bit upset with the fact that they've come back to try and take on all these old sort of movies, and they've just not lived up to the hype. They've not lived up to the originals, and Matrix is the only one that I haven't seen. So I thought I'd go into this one a little bit blind, see how this film holds up on its own, and not compare it to the rest of the trilogy. And again, you can watch this one, you can pick it up without watching the others and still understand it and still get it. And I feel like if this was a movie on its own, it would work, but it still does have its issues and it still does have its problems, with it being very lackluster, with events being very lackluster, with story, but making up for it with the action and making up for it with the fight scenes and the sort of set design and the costume design, and I think that's all really cool. However, it still deserves a 6 out of 10. I'm not going to talk about this movie, and it's kind of put me off watching the other Matrix movies. I don't really want to go back and watch the others because, again, I thought this one was mid. It wasn't, like, excellent, but it wasn't, like, amazing or, like, terrible. So I don't know how to feel about watching the rest of them. They're not on Netflix. I was going to watch them in order, but none of them were on Netflix barring the new one, so I just went straight into the new one. However, that is it for this daily scheduled film review. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm sorry it was another negative one. However, I do have some more positive ones coming on the way because I have watched some other movies other than The Matrix, so do stay tuned for those. And hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe.